There's proven technology that it's out there now. I'm not saying anything that's extraordinary. Everybody has a specific frequency signature through their voice. It's kind of like a fingerprint. There are no two voice signatures that are alike. And so now with this technology, you can pick up the frequency of your voice to actually, they use it in a medical field to see where you have imbalances. They can see cancer markers. They can see all kinds of, without blood tests or anything, just through your voice. Like it would just reflect back to me the frequency, the frequency, the heart or this or the stomach or digestive system or things like that. It can be very specific to even tell you what vitamins you need, even like imbalances, basically minerals or whatever. So if you understand that the frequency is being embedded in your voice, and of course it's going to change every day because you are different every day. Then you can you could be in this incredible state of consciousness, again, through training. And if I am in fact, we did this experiment, if you don't mind me sharing.
Yeah.
So I was working with these guys actually in their lab. And I said, I want to know what my meditation actually does. Like, I mean, I know what it does to me, but I want to see it visually. I want
biology. You want markers.
Markers. I want metrics. Like I want data, So we did this experiment where we did it through the voice. We were measuring the frequency of the voice, but we also had the EEG,
okay, cool.
Picking up
the skull cap that, wears all the electrodes that shows your sort of neural activity.
Right, exactly. And so I sat down. So I started doing the meditation that I call connecting to source, because I know that frequency. I live that frequency, like I said. So I know where it is, but you don't, or nobody, it's like, what?
Right.
Whatever. I'll just say source and I'll get there. Well, that's what I was trying to demonstrate. So as I'm going through this exercise and I'm just meditating and saying, the second I would say source, or I would say I'm connecting to source, or whatever my meditation is, I would go to that frequency because I have lived it. I've done it. I know where my consciousness, where my brain goes. It's a very specific frequency. So I would go there as I'm saying it. The second I would say that, my alpha waves would just jump, and my brain would start to become completely coherent, specifically with certain words and certain tones. And then by the end of it, your whole, in fact, I think it's on my Facebook, I'm not sure, but there's those images of the brain where when you start and how you end, everything is perfectly coherent, like the colors, the organization.
The colors are symmetrical from left to right.
Yes.
Where it's activated.
Yes. Instead of right and left and blah, blah, blah.
Blob here, a blob there.
Yeah. And what was fascinating is the second I would say the word, it would go up because I was energetically bringing it through the voice. It was the frequency. So I was like, boom, this is proof that it's not
just. I love that you get scientific.
I love that because it's I want to show that it's real.
Yeah.
So then my friend, she was doing some other meditation or something, and her chart was nice. I mean, it was different. It was just nice. And then she does my meditation. She listens to mine, and her brain does what mine did.
I've always said that I think that truth holds a frequency. I think the reason why you like someone or you resonate with a song or whatever that may be is because the more in truth they are, the more you resonate with that frequency. It's like a feel-good frequency that seeps into you. So and it just resonates, like truth resonates with truth. And so your inner being, your higher self wants more of that. The more truth, the better. And so connecting with that with people, whether they're on someone on TV or someone in your life or a relationship or a song that you listen to, like you're resonating with the truth. And you're saying you've got the science to prove that when you're connected energetically to a truth that you have and an emotion and creating an emotion and an energy with it, you tap into a frequency and
Yeah,
you transmit it.
exactly. You broadcast it. So that was that was like, yes. And so this is because people say, oh, I don't need this meditation. I meditate. Or yes, but everybody can say source. Everybody can say, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a specific frequency delivered in a certain way that then your brain recognizes and then it can find it on its own. That's the idea. But I think this was also, we were talking about the average person, having to like think that they need the discipline or the time. It's more about really finding the right energy.
How does your exploration into space, and I've watched A Tear in the Sky, what role does an extraterrestrial and knowing that there's other life out there, what role does that play then? Why is that important?
A lot of it has to do with me trying to bring the truth that it's more than, hey, the gray aliens are here to invade our planet and destroy. And there's so much more that is out there that people don't, know about. And so I use these films, always try to bring science as well.
Maybe you've learned more about what it was that you guys saw in the sky that looked like it was like the clouds parted and there was little particles or little dots and one appearing and then it kind of clouded over. What have you found?
Well, first of all, we were there only 5 days. And yes, it's true. We had an incredible, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, from optical equipment to infrared to, FLIR cameras, which is like military grade, to radiation. All sorts of things. We were in 3 locations, like you said, but still, we are civilians, right? And in 5 days, we captured like hundreds of hours of data. So, and very anomalous things. So, for example, things that kind of would show up, like make a U-turn and leave, things that would appear in the middle of the screen, rotate, and then like disappear. The government's telling us right now, like, we don't know, we don't have data. It's like, okay, but we're civilians. We went out and we did that. But the biggest thing is the one you mentioned. At the end, we captured, so the camera gets triggered when there's something that is not a bird, it's not a plane, because the system knows it's none of those things. And so it gets triggered, the camera gets triggered, and we have that video. And when we slowed it down, we saw, wait, because when it got triggered, we couldn't see anything. But then when we analyzed it, we saw that literally it was some sort of a cloud. It opens and closed, and it revealed 50 to 100 reflective objects, like actual objects.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of them pop out of the cloud. We don't know what, So at the same time, it correlates with radar. Radar also picks up exactly some sort of blob in that exact same spot. We have a crazy radiation, a gamma ray of like, I think it was 43 or something insane. The normal is like 3.
The first word that came to mind when I was watching it, I was like, it's like a portal,
Of course.
And then you guys said maybe a black hole or a wormhole. If it opens and closes, it feels almost like some kind of wormhole portal that is like, oh, this is another galaxy of some sort, and these are all stars in it. But the question is, why did it open?
These aren't stars because the radar doesn't pick up on radiation or light. It picks up on objects, like reflective objects. So these were actual objects.
Do you have a theory on how this universe or beyond materializes.
It's definitely a multiverse. I mean, I think there's an infinite number of universes, but not in the way people think. Like, you know how people think that, oh, there's another one of you in another universe doing the same thing, like a parallel universe. To
Right.
me, that doesn't make any sense because it would be like, what's the point? Why would you have a bunch of you doing the same thing? So, you know what I mean? Creation is purposeful. The idea is there's one of you doing this here, but there's another aspect of you could be doing something else. For me, the universal organization is more planetary systems within galactic systems, within universes, and each universe is within multiverses. It's more of a fractal existence. And then you see the geometry, you see perfect geometry, you see the harmonics between the macro and the micro. And so, but going to your question, is this a simulation? So it's interesting because I don't see it at all as a simulation, like it's a computer generated thing and it's all fake. However, I feel we are inside a sort of a network of information, which creates this particular reality that is both, that is part of a larger, I don't think I think it's more of a divine order. That's my take on it. There's a larger universal intelligence that is guiding this. Now, there may be some extraterrestrial manipulating, you know, the reality that we exist in, but they're not the creators. This is not where it ends. There's a much larger universal organization that is divinely orchestrated because there's too much evidence of divine intelligence. You know, it's too much. And so it's at the same time that a lot of it is directed, like it's almost like you have a prenatal contract to come in here and carry out this contract. And at the same time, you are creating it as you go along, meaning you create your reality. Otherwise, we'd just be robots. We'll just be machines. Like it wouldn't matter what happens to you because, it's predestined. It's already part of the computer, the simulation. So what's the point? Why should I intend to have a house or to do this if it's preordained?
If you like this clip and you want to hear the whole episode, click at the bottom of your screen.